Hello, and welcome to Dad Got This. Today, we got the Ninja Woodfire Grill and some Minato seeds. What are we doing with them? I'll tell you in a second. Today, we will be attempting to convert a Filipino dish called Chicken Inasal to be cooked on the Woodfire Grill. Chicken Inasal roughly translates to barbecue chicken. I don't know if I'm saying that absolutely correct. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing it, but for this recipe, you are gonna need to get your hands on some Minato seeds. You can get them at any Asian grocery store, Latin grocery store, or on Amazon. I'll throw the link down below. They are mainly used for coloring. They add that bright red, vibrant coloring that you get in a lot of Filipino dishes. The most common use for them, and the way we are gonna use them, is you make an Minato oil. Add some spices, some oil, simmer it down, and it makes this wonderful seasoning and coloring oil. Filipino recipes vary from region to region. It can be completely different in one area than it is in the other. But in general, chicken inasal is chicken marinated in this stuff and some spices, and then normally it is put on a bamboo skewer and grilled over charcoal. We're not doing that. We're gonna try and make it work here in the Ninja Woodfire Grill. So let's get to that. The first thing we need to do is make some Minato oil. It's really simple to make, but I wanna show off something new. This is my new Nakano knife. This is the Mito series from Nakano Knives. It is handmade in Japan. It has like an olive wood handle. It is a beautiful knife. Nakano Knives reached out to me and said, hey, we see you seem to like really nice knives, and would you be willing to, give our knife a shot and tell us what you think? So this is my first time using it. It is really nice in the hand. It's got a nice little weight to it, good balance. So I'm gonna give this knife a try and we'll see how it performs on this recipe. But these are handmade in Japan. My knife was handmade in Seki, Japan, but I mean, look at this thing. It is beautiful. It's like a piece of art. Kind of afraid to cook with it, but they sent me this. And if you wanna get yourself your own Nakano Mito knife, you can go ahead and use a link down below. They're giving 10% off to my viewers just to be nice. So check them out. We'll see how they are. I don't know yet. We'll find out at the end of this video, but this is a nice looking knife. To make the oil, we need some garlic. Nothing fancy, just bust it up, papers off it. All right, I like that. That works. All right, let's throw that in a pan. A staple of Filipino cooking is bay leaves. Always have bay leaves around. And we got our Minato seeds. And the most common practice with these is you just make an Minato oil. So we're gonna use a half cup of these. And they smell wonderful. We'll throw some ginger in there, and you don't even need to worry about peeling this because we're gonna strain this oil. We're just gonna rough chop some ginger. This is some lemongrass that I just grabbed right out of my garden. If you don't have access to lemongrass, it's actually absolutely fine to just leave this one out. Maybe hard to get, but it's an awesome flavor. You just kind of pound it out. It releases the oils. And we're done with chopping now. I gotta say, our knife did fantastic. And we're just gonna kind of toast this a little bit before we add the oil. So we're gonna leave it in here dry just for a few minutes till it starts smelling fragrant. And it just adds an extra depth of flavor that you don't get if you skip this step. Starting to smell good. I think we're ready to add oil. I've got a cup of vegetable oil here. You can use any kind of oil you want. Just use something like a neutral tasting oil, nothing with a strong flavor. Now we're just gonna simmer this on low for about 10 minutes to really let the garlic and the ginger and the bay leaf help infuse into the oil, and then we'll be ready to strain. Be careful where you set your Minato oil covered spoon. It's gonna stain. This stuff is potent. You enjoying this video? Well, there's a few simple things you can do to help me out. 1, you could subscribe if you're not already. 2, you could give the video a like and hit that bell. All right? We are at the point where everything is infused nicely. And all we have to do is strain it off. And what you are left with is an amazing flavoring oil that we're gonna use in our marinade and a basting butter. Let's go ahead and just make that basting butter now. You're gonna take a whole stick of salted butter. If you have any extra aromatics like ginger and garlic and lemongrass, you can add that if you want. You don't have to if you don't want to. And then we're gonna add probably 2 tablespoons. Let's do 3. 3 tablespoons of your Minato oil. And just melt it down. And we can set it aside. We're gonna use this much later. The last thing we gotta whip up before we get into the chicken is a sausawan. A sausawan basically just means dipping sauce. If you have eaten at a Filipino restaurant or with Filipino people, they all have one. They all have their own version of it. This is the version that my family uses. Yours may be different, but this is what we go with. You need garlic. A couple big chunks of ginger. We like to keep the chunks of ginger big because they're not fun to eat by themselves. They're just there to flavor the sauce. Soy sauce. About that much. We like a little bit of tomato in ours. Good test of the knife here. Goes through the tomato nice and easy. I like that. A little bit of diced tomato in there. And a little bit of white onion. A little coconut vinegar. I use a spicy coconut vinegar. You can use a plain coconut vinegar. Coconut vinegar just has a sweeter flavor than regular vinegar. So put a little bit of that in there. As you can see, I measured nothing. The last ingredient is calamansi. They're little Filipino, they're like limes. They're like a mix between a lime and a lemon and a little sweeter. I don't know how to exactly explain it, but it has its own unique flavor. You can buy calamansi juice. I'll put a link down below. You can use lime or lemon with a little bit of sugar. But if you can get your hands on real calamansi, my father-in-law has a tree and we love it. Mix this bad boy up. We're gonna go set that in the fridge till it's time to eat the chicken, and this is gonna be amazing. You can dip anything in this. Pork, chicken, fish. This is like your go-to sauce for anything. The last thing we need to mix up is our marinade for our chicken. Most of the work has already been done. It was making our oil. So we're gonna take our oil. This is a very traditional Filipino ingredient, Sprite. They use it in a lot of cooking. It's crazy. I don't know how long it goes back in history, but in many Filipino recipes, they use sodas. And we are gonna use one of the tiny cans. These are 7.5 ounces. So we're gonna put that whole 7.5 ounce can in there. We're gonna use more of our coconut vinegar. We're gonna put about 2 tablespoons of that in there. And then we're gonna get as much calamansi juice as we can, about 1/4 cup if you can. You can use lemon juice or lime juice also. These guys are nice and juicy because they've been frozen. Seems like when you freeze them, they get juicier. Last things we need to do is add a little bit of salt, maybe 1/2 tablespoon, teaspoon-ish, about a tablespoon of sugar. We'll mix this guy up. Let's go grab a chicken. Now I grabbed myself a whole chicken for this just because it's cheaper. You can grab parts, you could grab wings, thighs, legs, anything you want. Marinate it and follow the recipe. Now, I also thought it was a good way to see how this knife does. Just dry our chicken off. I could try to fit this whole thing in there, but what I want to do is I want to break it down into pieces. So I'm going to break it into quarters. So we're going to take this little quarter area here. Some recipes I found say you can leave the skin on. Some say leave it off. I like the skin. We're leaving the skin on. So all I did was separate that right there. I got a nice big leg quarter right there. We'll do the same over here to get you a nice full leg quarter. Now, we'll take our wings off. Do I 100% know that this is the right way to take apart a chicken? No. Is this the way I take apart a chicken? Yeah. All right, and then I got my wing right here. I got a wing. I got another wing. And I want to try to leave the bones on the breasts to keep it together. Run our knife along the rib cage. Should help pull that right out. Now I got my backbone and rib cage out of there. And you know what? I think I'm gonna cook the two breasts together like that. I think they're gonna look cool that way. What I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna take the chicken pieces, put them back in this little baking dish. I'm going to pour some oil over them. And I'm gonna rub it in. This way, I kind of know that I'm getting everybody sort of happy. We can take our chicken pieces, put them in a Ziploc bag, pour the rest of our oil, zip that bad boy up. Now you want to marinate this for a couple hours, ideally overnight. That's going to give you the best flavor. So we're going to stick this in the fridge for a couple hours, let it get all happy. The chicken has been marinating for quite a while, a couple hours, and it's time to set up the smoker and smoke this sucker. Smoke this thing, smoke it. I don't know, we're gonna do it. Quick spiel, Ninja sent me this. I didn't have to pay for it. I didn't have to send it back. I'm not a paid brand ambassador. They don't pay me any money. They don't have any input on any of these videos. Just wanted you to know that up front. Setting this thing up is super easy. We're gonna take our little hopper out of the side here. I've got some old pellets in here. We're gonna get rid of those. For today's smoke, we are gonna go with the Ninja all-purpose blend. I did a video where I go over whether you need to use the Ninja brand pellets or not. It's a pretty cool video. It'll let you know a bit of information. I just happen to have these left over from that video, so that's why I'm using them. Do the dad shake. That is just where I shake the hopper a little bit, gives a little bit of separation. I feel like I get a cleaner burn when I do that. Probably does absolutely nothing. We're gonna set this sucker in on the side there. We'll open this up. As you can see, I have the standard grill grate in here. It just sits right in there. Here in the back is our drip pan. I'm gonna line it with some tin foil, as we call it from where I'm from, up north. Aluminum foil. I don't know why we call it tin foil, but let me go get some. There you go. Slides right in the back. Now in a previous video, I cooked a bunch of stuff where I was checking whether smoked, grilled, or air fried got a different flavor, and I used chicken thighs as the test. I did 300 degrees. I kind of determined that I liked smoked at 300 degrees for my chicken, so that's what we're gonna go with. Smoker, set it to 300. As you can see, I don't have to hit the wood fire button because I got my flame. We'll hit start. This will take a few minutes to get up to temp and all smoky. We'll go grab our chicken. As you can see, we got lots of smoke, so we're ready to go. Arrangement looks pretty good. I'm gonna stick a wireless digital thermometer inside the breast so we can keep track of things, and we'll see how long this takes. Time to take a quick check-in on it. It's only been about 15 minutes, but I just wanna see how they're looking. Ooh, nice. We're gonna baste them with a little bit of our butter. Close it back up, check back in a little bit. We're about 40 minutes in on this cook. Let's go ahead and take a look at them. I've been basting them every 15 minutes or so. They look pretty good. Let's check some temps. About 120 on the breast, 150 on that leg, 160 on that thigh. Thighs are almost done, legs are almost done, breast is a little way to go. I'm gonna kick the heat up and throw it on the air fry setting to see if we can get a nice little crisp on these. And these will be done in a little bit. We'll turn it to air crisp, put a 400, hit the wood fire. Now, I held that button for the start button to skip the preheat. We're just gonna go ahead and turn it on, kind of let it go. This should kick it up nicely. We'll keep an eye on it, check it every 10 or 15 minutes. We don't wanna burn them, and these should be done. I wanna try to get a little bit of a crisp on them to mimic that charcoal grilled flavor that you would get if you did these the traditional way. We are getting a little bit low on our pellets, so we're just gonna top off the hopper. I use a soup spoon, open it up, throw a couple in there, and then to reignite them, you just hold that wood fire button down for 3 seconds, and that'll relight them, get them smoky again. Our quarters are looking solid. They are at the right temps. We're gonna go ahead and pull those along with the wings. We are still only in about the 130, 140s on the breast. We're gonna let that go for a little longer. You're really crazy like myself, and you really wanna get that charred look on it, get yourself one of these. Torch it. I think it's ready. Let's flame kiss it, let it rest. It's time to eat. After a long day of cooking, it's finally time to try some chicken. Piece right here, just with try it with the sasawan. Kicks it up a notch. I like it. Got a nice smoky flavor to it. Nothing crazy. It's good. The official taste tester is here.
So what is this exactly?
This is called Chicken Inasal. It's basically Filipino barbecue chicken. Just with the marinade that it comes with. You ready?
Yep. Mmm.
You like the chicken? Is it tender?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
No, I want the rest of it.
Do all the likey, subscribe stuff, hit the bell. If you want to get your own Ninja Woodfire Grill, links are down below. If you want to get your own Nakano knife, link is also down below with a 10% discount. And what doesn't Dad do?
Dad doesn't also. That's it. Bye. Can I have more?
You get more? Sure.
Good.
All right, we gotta go eat dinner. All right, real talk breakdown after eating the full meal. Couple bites, the outside has some good flavor on it. Once you get past that outside skin, not a lot of flavor on the inside of the chicken. You really need that sasawan sauce to give it any kind of flavor. The marinade, in my opinion, probably needs a bunch of extra salt, maybe some extra garlic. It needs a bunch of kick to really, I don't know, flavor it up. I think something in the smoking process versus charcoal grilling affects the flavor. My wife, the Filipino, said it tastes nothing like chicken inasal. So this is chicken inasal style. This is not chicken inasal. It's not the same. It definitely lacked salt. If you're not gonna eat it with a sasawan, you're gonna want to salt the chicken, maybe add a little bit of extra salt to that marinade to kick the flavor up quite a bit. It's not bad. It just lacks the punch and flavor that salt adds to your food. It definitely needs it. Now, that sasawan has a kick, especially the one that I use with the spicy vinegar. If you are dipping your chicken in that, plenty of flavor. That sauce will save and make any dish. Just wanted to let you guys know that. Other than that, it's basically your basic smoked chicken. The marinade has a slight garlicky flavor to it, but not a whole bunch of flavor. Just wanted to let you guys know that. All right. If you enjoyed that video, why not throw Dad a good old like and subscribe and do the notification thing, or leave me a comment about what your favorite part of this video was. That would really help Dad out. And you can go check out one of these other videos. I'm sure they're fantastic. I mean, I made them, so I'm pretty sure they're fantastic. All right. Yeah, do that stuff.